Hello, this is the Digital Sorceress. Today I'm going to share with you a little bit about how to get the arpeggiator's MIDI output from the Roland FA08 to record not the raw input notes, but actually to make sure we record the arpeggiated MIDI notes from that into Ableton. Now, this does actually apply also to the FA07 and FA06 if you have that model instead. I'm going to be giving some specific to Ableton things that were part of my process that I had to dig out. None of these things individually are very difficult. It's just that sort of putting all the pieces together in a row and getting them all to work right took a little digging, and I figure maybe this will save you some time. So the first thing we need to do to record the audio out, or the MIDI output rather, of the FA08 is I'm going to go ahead and take the MIDI from the FA08 back to the MIDI FA08, and I'm going to arm the track. Now, I've got my FA08 set up with the DAW control enabled because that's sort of how I normally use it when I'm recording. If I want to record whatever raw performance data I'm doing, it's handy because it lets me start and stop recording from the buttons. This is going to be a problem that we'll get into in a little bit, but first I just want to show, okay, fine, so we've got it, and great, yep, the MIDI notes are coming in and coming out, but the problem is we're not going to get the arpeggiator output because, in fact, you can't even turn on the arpeggiator in DAW mode. Now, if I'm just missing something, I'd love to know, but I can't find it. I can't find a way to have DAW control turned on and the arpeggiator at the same time. So, just for the sake of showing, okay, so we got the MIDI recorded, the raw input of the notes I hit, that's it. So, first tip, we got to turn off the DAW control. Now, the piano sound and the arpeggiator button has lit up, and great. Now, in order to illustrate the timing issues, I've made sure that Ableton is set up at 120 beats per minute, and the FA is set to some ridiculously different timing that is not going to sync up right. Because, well, that's the other part of this, is getting the timing right. So we've got the arpeggiator, we should be getting the notes, but the timing's going to be off. So let's just test it and make sure. Yep, big surprise, the timing's off. So, all right, not a problem. In the FA, what we have to do is we have to go into the menu in System, Sync/Tempo, and we need to set the sync mode to slave. Okay, so we know that something's happening because nothing's happening. We've definitely made a change. The arpeggiator's turned on and the tempo has 3 dashes and nothing's coming out. If I turn off the arpeggiator, I get my raw notes again. Turn on the arpeggiator, nothing's happening. Now, in theory, this is just because there's no MIDI clock signals going out from Ableton into the FA. So when we hit record, it should start. So let's try. Oh, it didn't work. The reason why is because Ableton needs to be told to send the clock signal. What we have to do is go into Options and Preferences, and if you look here, my FA is track on. That tells it to record the MIDI notes, but the sync is currently off. So I need to set that to on. Now it should be sending the clock signals for the external to read. Now, the FA is still not going to play the arpeggio when we're not recording data because we're not sending sync yet. But all the ducks should be in a row, And now we should be able to record the arpeggiator output, and it'll be in sync with 120 beats a minute of Ableton, which is the master. So we're all set. Let's do it. Okay, and there you have it. You can see we got the MIDI notes, and you could hear we were in sync. So the tricks were to make sure that the FA was set up to slave for the tempo, and that Ableton is set up to send the sync signals. And we have to disable DAW mode in the FA because for whatever reason the chords, the automatic chord thing and the arpeggiator don't seem to want to run when you're in DAW mode. So I hope this has been helpful. I know I had to scratch my head a few times to kind of figure out what was going on and get this set up. I hope it saves you some time and trouble.